Hello everyone, and welcome to a Herrera video. It's gonna be awesome with a ton of very cool hunts. I hope you'll enjoy, and let's run to the sanctuary. I managed to find food really quickly, which is good because Herrera loses its diets really quickly. Though the sanctuary is full of danger, so I had to be really careful where I went. I eventually spotted a little raptor and tried to jump on him, but mistimed it a little bit. Later, I got another shot at it. That little raptor must be incredibly hurt, so I tried to track it down. Eventually I found it laying in a little bush, so I got my first proper meal. Later on there was a little carno that was killing a small rex. So I went the long way around to try and find a good spot to try and jump on that carno. Luckily that jump had done enough damage that I only needed a few more bites to kill him. Now that I'd conquered the sanctuary, it was time to start traveling the map. Though my food was dropping very quick, which made me have to resort to eating bones. Though I quickly got pushed off of those bones and had to travel towards a much more dangerous area. That being south. I was desperate for a good meal, and eventually I found some food on the ground. But there was someone else too. After killing that Dilo, I now had all this food to myself. At least for a little bit. Because a little aloe had shown up. I had to take care of him too. With a full stomach, I waited nearby to see if anybody would go for the food. And sure enough, a new victim had arrived. I patiently waited for the right moment to strike. Another body for the pile. South Plains was proving to be a valuable location for me. And then I noticed an aloe had found the food pile. He didn't know it yet, but soon he would join the pile. And with one long leap, he got sent back to the spawn screen. And I could rest on my tree, knowing I definitely had enough food for a while now. Then I was hearing some baby aloe eating noises, but I couldn't quite see where they were. I just decided to jump where I thought they were. And I actually managed to get one. I had watched a sub-Rex fight and kill a medium-sized Sego and knew he was hiding in these bushes. Somehow it didn't land though, even though he was in that bush. I guess I just missed him. Not willing to risk it again, I decided just to take an organ from the Stego corpse. But that was gonna turn out to have been a little more risky than I realized, since there was a raptor nearby. But I still managed to get the food. And then we reached adulthood, and we also reached Prime, which I was very happy with. So this is the build that I made. Near the South Plains River, I was hearing raptor calls and tried to sneak over. Eventually I spotted them and tried to jump on one. If only he hadn't moved, then I would have done a lot more damage because I think I only got a tail hit. But I ended up leaving them alone. I then went to a new location where I wanted to try and do some hunting, that being the West Rail Beach. I waited in the trees for a long time, going from almost full hunger to less than half, and eventually I had to leave this area. I guess it wasn't as fruitful as I thought. But I did find myself some food. Food and juvies were plentiful in South. Speaking of juvies, while drinking 3 juvie aloes had arrived, so it was time to mess around with them. They followed me into the water, which was a bad idea because Herrera can dive. One member down and the others hurt, they backed off for a bit before coming back for more water. But I was not gonna allow that. Going downriver, I found a big potential prey. I tried to follow him as quietly as I could and noticed he sat down in a bush. He didn't seem to have noticed me, so I got ready for a pounce. I got him hurt, and he started running away, so I gave chase. But 1 pounce was definitely not going to be enough. Though this was very dangerous. 1 tail swing and I was dead. I needed to be very careful. Something I'm not very good at. I got a lot of pounces off on him, and he must have been very hurt and bleeding badly, but my stamina was almost completely out. So as much as I wanted to keep going, I had to sit down to recover some stamina. Once I tried to find him, but I could not find any blood anywhere. Apparently I was quite close to him, but I couldn't find him. I started traveling to the pond at the dam because I had seen Doki hunt there and be quite successful, so I wanted to give this spot a shot for myself. So I climbed the tree and waited in ambush. Eventually something arrived. A mid-sized Tenno. I got a very big jump on him, so now I just had to follow him and keep him moving. He eventually sat in a bush, but I was not gonna allow that, and continued the hunt. But eventually he ran to the bushes and the cliffs, and I guess he didn't see where he was going. While I was still searching the bushes, he was actually already dead, hanging from the cliff. And eventually, I found his body, and felt pretty accomplished. Though getting food from the body was actually a bit of a challenge, but I eventually figured it out. This kill gave me a full refill of diets and food, and a new boost of confidence to go with it. I didn't manage to record it, but I had jumped on this medium-sized stego, so now I was following him in hopes I could get some follow-up pounces. After getting another hit, he went in the most awkward spot imaginable, on some tree branches right at the cliffs, though I did manage to hit him a couple more times. Eventually he left this spot, and he walked off a cliff. So now his body was just down in the trees, floating around. It made for a weird sight, that's for sure. Back at the pond, I waited patiently for a new opportunity, and soon it arrived. It was another medium-sized Tenno. I aimed, and then I jumped. The Tenno was extremely hurt and bleeding badly now. Luckily for me, he was not leaving the area and stayed by the pond. Eventually he started using the water, and even though I can dive, my actual swim speed is really bad, and Tenno's swim speed is really good. After an intense fight for survival, the Tenno went down. Now this was a kill that I was proud of. The previous Tenno didn't really die directly to me, but this one did. Then I met a little Herrera, but a Cerrado quickly scared both of us. Though this was definitely a bit of a newer player, and he climbed all the way to the top of the tree. So I told him that's dangerous, because if he falls, he's going to die. And then I could not believe what had just happened. I just told him not to climb that high. Later on, some scavengers arrived at his corpse. And of course, I won't pass up on that. Moments later, a stego arrived. I did pounce him, but I decided not to pursue him, because he was just way too big. During the day, I spotted some dibbles coming my way. I think they were being hunted by that Dilo. But when they all went for a drink, it was my moment to strike. Being so old by now, I really didn't expect to one-shot that baby dibble. Baby dibbles are really chunky. But now I did notice he did have a little bit of scars already. I then felt it was time to say goodbye to this amazing spot and move to a new location, that being the jungle pond. After a while, I spotted a small Carno drinking and positioned myself for a pounce. He was definitely very hurt, and I tried to track him down, but his footsteps and blood just were not showing up for me. I could not find where he went, so that was a failed hunt for me. Though after staying in that spot for a long time, I had to leave because it was not providing for me. So I traveled to Delta before I started starving. There I found a little pteranodon, which is actually on Herrera's diet. While running to the cliffs at Delta, a little Patchy almost took me out. I did eventually find some corpses to fill up my food again. I traveled upriver, and there I found a small dino enjoying some food, and I wanted to try and kill him. But then, for some reason, I just fell from my tree. But luckily that dino didn't seem to have noticed. so I had another chance. I hurt him pretty bad and was able to grab an organ for myself. But then he just took the food and swam off, and there wasn't really much I could do about it. A bit later, small Serrato calls had caught my attention. I tried to make the least amount of noise possible while getting in a position to try and get the jump on them. And when the moment was right, I went in. I'd gotten a good few hits on that white and brown one and wanted to try and get another one, but that was proving to be more difficult than I thought, and my stamina was really low. So I took a moment to regain some stamina, and luckily for me, those Serratos stayed in this area to heal. So once I had some stamina, I got back up and tried to find a good moment and spot to finish that Serrato. And with one more jump, I killed him. I was pretty happy with that. And now I could just get my stamina back, and once those Serratos had finally left the area, I was able to enjoy that food. I then went to the volcano area, and while I was there, I was hearing Tenanto calls. Like a bunch of Tenanto calls, and I got curious. I eventually found them, but I wasn't able to be sneaky about it, and they soon spotted me and were not happy with me around. I tried to avoid them a little bit, and then one of the smaller Tenos broke their leg and probably got pretty hurt. Because of that, I stayed in the area and wanted to try and jump on that one. But that was gonna prove to be a very dumb decision. I missed my jump and scurried back to my tree, but I grabbed on to the bottom of the tree, and one kick was all it took to take me down. But that Herrera life was very fun and successful, so we just have to go for another one. This time we're starting in the jungle in a little nest, along with some other siblings. It was a nice, safe little spot where we could get a little head start into our lives. But eventually it was time to go out into the cruel world. And first on our list was, of course, the Sanctuary. So in the Sanctuary, there were also some little raptors. And they definitely knew we were there. and eventually they killed one of our siblings. I decided to climb the closest tree in hopes they would come back for the food, and eventually they did, so I had a chance to try and get our revenge. I managed to kill the brown one, the one that killed our sibling. If only you could still hit multiple targets with Herrera, then I probably would have killed both of them, but one kill will definitely do. I was starting to grow into a pretty big juvie, but food was a big problem. Eventually I did find an untouched small carno corpse that I could scavenge from. Then I noticed a small aloe trying to be sneaky while eating from a corpse. But I'd seen him, and I was gonna kill him. After that, I left the sanctuary and started roaming around the map. And I eventually arrived at the entrance of the Highland sanctuary. While there, I noticed a little triceratops and decided to jump on him. After eating a little bit, I noticed someone else coming for all the food nearby. I looked for a good opportunity, and then I jumped. While I was eating, this little Cerrado attacked me, and I'm not sure what he was expecting. But now, I was gonna do something I really wanted to do, but didn't expect that I would get the chance to. A pteranodon had shown up, and was flying in range of my tree. I was very happy with that kill. My hope to kill a pteranodon mid-air had been realized. There were also some Cerrados, but of course we can't have those around. Instead of dogfighting, I went back to the cliff to try and jump on the little guy. And I killed him. I don't know why he was just standing still, but I'll take it. I then left this spot and went to West Rail. And there, I spotted more aloes. But when I tried to jump on them, they had spotted me and managed to avoid me. That was a close call, both for them and then for me. But I then went to the spot I actually wanted to go to, which was the West Rail puddle. And not before long, someone showed up for a drink. I managed to kill that big galley, but his friend was pretty angry with me and stayed in the area to try and catch me out a couple times. But then a raptor showed up to drink, and I jumped, and right as I was about to land and hit him, my game crashed. Though I got super lucky, and when I logged back in, I was hurt, but I was still alive somehow. I'm not sure how I survived that. I also killed a small aloe that came to drink. While I was trying out the West Rail Pond, I spotted and tried to kill a stego. But he proved to be too big for me. Close to the South Plains River, I was hearing noises, and eventually the thing I was trying to hunt just ran right past me. It was a little dibble, and one of the most oblivious ones I've ever seen at that, so eventually I managed to kill it. I used it as bait, and something big showed up. Once this Rex started running, I pursued him. I really wanted to get this kill. But sadly, I lost him. I started heading back towards the delta when a Rex surprised me. That was pretty close, and while in delta, there was not much food. I did try to kill this Carno I found, but I was just a little too far away, so I had to do it the old-fashioned way. Much later, it had been a long time since I got a proper meal, so I had to kill this little Cerrado. And still very low on food, when I found some stegos, I decided to try my luck one more time. I'd gotten 2 good hits in, but my stamina was really low. And I had to keep track of which one it was that I'd actually hit. Then I got another good hit on him, but with no stamina left, I wasn't able to keep going. Eventually, with no food and being super old, I decided it was time to entomb. I saw a Cerrado that had some food, and I wanted to kill him. But in my mind, I was still a big Herrera, and I just started brawling with him, even though I was actually a juvie. He got me very hurt, and with one more jump, he hit me again, and I was on the brink of death. I decided that it was definitely not a good idea to keep fighting him. I eventually came back for a Trudon corpse I knew was here. And when I tried to eat from it, the Cerrado appeared out of nowhere.
Hello there.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that I'll see you in the next one.